Chairman.
Thanks very much, Senator Hirono. Senator Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the flexibility as I've been back and forth between this committee and Homeland Security Committee, where there's a hearing going on right now on the use of AI in government. So it's AI Day on the Hill, or at least in the Senate, apparently. Now, for folks watching at home, if you never thought about AI until the recent emergence of generative AI tools, the developments in this space may feel like they've just happened all of a sudden. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Chair, is that they haven't. AI is not new, not for government, not for business, not for the public. In fact, the public uses AI all the time. And just for folks to be able to relate, I want to offer the example of anybody with a smartphone. Many features on your device leverage AI, including suggested replies, right, when we're text messaging or even to email, autocorrect features, including but not limited to spelling in our email and text applications. So I'm frankly excited to explore how we can facilitate positive AI innovation that benefits society while addressing some of the already known harms and biases that stem from the development and use of the tools today. Now, with language models becoming increasingly ubiquitous, I want to make sure that there's a focus on ensuring equitable treatment of diverse demographic groups. My understanding is that most research into evaluating and mitigating fairness harms has been concentrated on the English language, while non-English languages have received comparatively little attention or investment. And we've seen this problem before, and I'll tell you why I raised this. Social media companies, for example, have not adequately invested in content moderation tools and resources for their non-English in non-English language. And I share this not just out of concern for non-US based users, but so many US-based users prefer a language other than English in their communication. So I'm deeply concerned about repeating social media's failure in AI tools and applications. Question, Mr. Altman and Ms. Montgomery, how are OpenAI and IBM ensuring language and cultural inclusivity that they're in their large language models? And it's even an area of focus in the development of your products.
So bias and equity in technology is a focus of ours and always has been. I think diversity in terms of the development of the tools, in terms of their deployment, so having diverse people that are actually training those tools, considering the downstream effects as well. We're also very cautious, very aware of the fact that we can't just be articulating and calling for these types of things without having the tools and the technology to test for bias and to apply governance across the life cycle of AI. So we were one of the first teams and companies to put toolkits on the market, deploy them, contribute them to open source that will do things like help to address, be the technical aspects in which we help to address issues like bias.
Can you speak just for a second specifically to language inclusivity?
Yeah, language, so we don't have a consumer platform, but we are very actively involved with ensuring that the technology we help to deploy and the large language models that we use in helping our clients to deploy technology is focused on and available in many languages.
Thank you. Ms. Schultz.
We think this is really important. One example is that we worked with the government of Iceland, which is a language with fewer speakers than many of the languages that are well represented on the internet, to ensure that their language was included in our model. And we've had many similar conversations, and I look forward to many similar partnerships with lower resource languages to get them into our models. GPT-4 is, unlike previous models of ours, which were good at English and not very good at other languages, now pretty good at a large number of languages. You can go pretty far down the list, ranked by number of speakers, and still get good performance. But for these very small languages, we're excited about custom partnerships to include that language into our model run. And the part of the question you asked about values and making sure that cultures are included, we're equally focused on that, excited to work with people who have particular data sets and to work to collect a representative set of values from around the world to draw these wide bounds of what the system can do. I also appreciate what you said about the benefits of these systems and wanting to make sure we get those to as wide of a group as possible. I think these systems will have lots of positive impact on a lot of people, but in particular, historically underrepresented groups in technology, people who have not had as much access to technology around the world, this technology seems like it can be a big lift up.
Great. And I know my question was specific to language inclusivity, but glad there's agreement on the broader commitment to diversity and inclusion. And I'll just give a couple more reasons why I think it's so critical. You know, the largest actors in this space can afford the massive amount of data, the computing power, and they have the financial resources necessary to develop complex AI systems. But in this space, we haven't seen, from a workforce standpoint, the racial and gender diversity reflective of the United States of America. And we risk, if we're not thoughtful about it, contributing to the development of tools and approaches that only exacerbate the bias and inequities that exist in our society. So a lot of follow-up work to do there. In my time remaining, I do want to ask one more question. This committee and the public are right to pay attention to the emergence of generative AI. Now, this technology has a different opportunity and risk profile than other AI tools, and these applications have felt very tangible for the public due to the nature of the user interface and the outputs that they produce. But I don't think we should lose sight of the broader AI ecosystem as we consider AI's broader impact on society, as well as the design of appropriate safeguards. So, Ms. Montgomery, in your testimony, as you noted, AI is not new. Can you highlight some of the different applications that the public and policymakers should also keep in mind as we consider possible regulations?
Yeah, I mean, I think the generative AI systems that are available today are creating new issues that need to be studied. New issues around the potential to generate content that could be extremely misleading, deceptive, and the like. So those issues absolutely need to be studied. But we shouldn't also ignore the fact that AI is a tool. It's been around for a long time. It has capabilities beyond just generative capabilities. And again, that's why I think going back to this approach where we're regulating AI where it's touching people and society is a really important way to address it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.